Hey guys. Mm, nope, not feeling better at all. But in the next 10 minutes, I'm going to attempt to do what I couldn't do yesterday. Fuck. So, ES fell below overnight close last night. It's down 26 points going into market open. Um, this represents like a open roughly around 6450 SPX. Looking at 6508. Son of a bitch. Fuck you, Epic Pen. 6508 on ES to the upside. 6474 near spot. This is the level we could get pinned to. Probably the pivot point for the day. And then to the downside, 6431 is the next level of any kind of importance. There's maybe like a 6450 support that exists here as well, which would form an inverse head and shoulders off the bottom, sort of. Kind of a sloppy one. But the lower high here, at least on ES, is not particularly bullish. Um, this is a bounce from the failure point of the diamond top. Probably uh, at least these prices will hold for a bit. Um, I got thanks Starscream. Um, oh fuck. Okay. So for SPX, we got a retest of Vega neutral to the upside on Friday. Pretty hard downshift in GN, DN. Obviously, Delta and Gamma both turned largely positive. So, position on the chain slightly bullish. Um, zero DTE gamma, roughly right about there. There's not a lot of gamma to the downside, but it is slightly supportive at 6440 and 6420. Resistive to the upside, out to around 60, with major resistance at 65. Sorry, 6570. Out at 75 would be the next breakout to the upside on all expirations. There's a bit of support here at 6450. Resistance 75. Major levels 6500. Opening here, if bulls can hold 50, probably gives us a trading range of about $25 for the day, especially given all the gamma up at 75 from sold calls last week. Delta into the end of this week. 29th, right? Is decent to the upside. Like, it's not too bad. No negative delta, so a little grindy. Obviously, a loss of 60 or 50 would be very detrimental, and we already have lost 60 in the overnight session. So opening under 50 could lead to a pullback to around 64.25. Remember that this kind of would squeeze down, or at least offset the positive gamma that's currently on the chain on this drop before finding support around like 64.20, 25. To the upside, getting back above 50 would be pretty difficult on an open below it, but if that were possible, there would then be resistance to the upside at 60.75, which gives, you know, roughly these two trading ranges off of that pivot point. With, minor supports at 40 and resistance at 60. I'm alright. I'll live. Charm on the 0 DT. Yeah, a little more interesting under 50, but not probably not all that much of an effect. Gamma curve still has a pretty defined peak out at like 65.50-ish. And it's still fairly steep to the downside, so gamma can still fall off fairly quickly. Out on options macro, which is now fucked. Awesome. We're gonna need to change that to the new page. It looks like put leverage fell off pretty hard. Those are probably bot puts that had been coming in over the last couple of days following Jay Powell's speech. Looks like they sold off. If we look back at this, the peak of put leverage shifted further out of the money by about, from about 11.72 down to about 11.87. So roughly the upside move. Call delta picked up pretty sharply in and out of the money. Meanwhile, put delta fell off in the money and out of the money as well. So a lot of closed puts, a lot of bot calls, but still not a ton of call leverage out above like 3.2% to the upside. For gamma and delta today, I think we have about 5 billion falling off. So it's not that high, but elevated. Delta, there's basically none. The IV side of things. Every 10 and 30 crushed pretty hard, but they're still slightly above the historic values. And then HV90 is still continuing to fall off from April. So we're probably going to start to see more longer dated puts come in. You can see some out here at like 5,500 for today from last week. Next really important expiration is going to be the 29th. But not too much put selling. And then there's some event vol priced into this week as well. Implied move is about 44 points. Which should give us something like that. I think there's a pretty decent chance that bulls hold 50, but fail to get meaningfully above 75. I guess this could continue to sell off, but it seems unlikely that futures is going to fail 64.50 today, at least with the positioning that's on the chain right now. So yeah, I would say overall relatively flat for today, but similar highs. On the data side, I'm not sure if we have anything super important. Uh, oh, fuck. Bitch. Okay. All right. We have new home sales. Also, a little bit of GDP information. Fed National Activity Index. Down a little. Um, Building permits dropped off again, but not as hard as expected. And came in a little higher for the total volume versus the consensus. Oh, Jesus. Thanks, Starscream. Yeah, I might. Ding ding. Alright, so that's it for range for today. I don't think it's going to be very exciting. Probably a lot of repositioning, fairly boring. Um, there's a small chance that we could slip 50 and sell off a little harder, but given where everybody is positioned from Friday, we probably stay pretty range bound. There's definitely a lot of incentive to sell or short strangle any move beyond the implied range. So keep that in mind. And then I think I got some live data for you guys. Thanks to the offer slot machine. Thanks, Wanamoon. Alright. Not sure why that's just not working. Fun. Hmm. Oh, there it goes.